will make their way out to the mats. This is Gutenberg's second Worlds final in his career. Took silver in 2022. He's going to be in another final later tonight against Eric Muniz, who just took gold at super heavyweight. Taking on Roosevelt Souza. Here we go, Roosevelt, Gutenberg underway.
Immediate look at a little Morote Seoinage from Gutenberg. Oh, and into a single there. You know, we were saying through the tournament that I would have I kept saying, like, man, I wish I could see Gutenberg shooting more in the center of the mat, because oftentimes he was shooting for takedowns on the edge, so we wouldn't get to see the continuation. And I guess we're getting to see that a little bit here. They started off right in the center with 2 attacks from him, and now into a closed guard pull.
Gutenberg and Roosevelt have met once before in IBJJF competition at black belt. That was at the 2022 Pans in the semifinal. Gutenberg won that one via submission, but that was 3 years ago now.
I was going to say, has it been that long? It's wild.
Crazy, right?
Time flies. Yeah, these guys have both of them have been mainstays on, you know, the world stage and the top of major podiums for so many years now. So it's always fun to get to watch them come out and see how they're evolving. Gutenberg came in as the number 2 seed. Roosevelt came in actually as number 12. Had a pretty tough road through the bracket as well to end up here in the finals. Oh, there we go. Some sweep action here from Gutenberg. But look at Roosevelt's grip on the hips. He may be able to find his way to the back here, but that grip on the leg with Gutenberg's left hand really was a game changer there. Was able to find himself back and now re-enter. Could have a potential footlock here from Roosevelt. He is belly down, but Gutenberg doesn't look too concerned with this. I think that's really worth mentioning. If he just looks up and back, he's not too worried.
Roosevelt does have an amazing footlock, but hard to tell if this one's super tight.
I think that's why I was so surprised that Gutenberg didn't look worried at all. He is awarded an advantage, though, for the footlock attack. Man, that was a lot of weight coming down. Roosevelt does this finish with the footlock sometimes where he brings his hips up high and then slams them down to the mat to get like a lot of bringing their hips up in the air and slamming them down to the ground is really, really gnarly. But I've seen him finish many people like that. Really aggressive.
It's like Roosevelt's got a bit of a cut in between his eyes, but doesn't seem to be bothering him. There's a shot of Guilherme Mendes in the corner of Gutenberg. Pereira. What a day for AOJ.
Man, I think the first, was it 3 or 4 champions were AOJ out of the women's divisions? Wild. I think there's a bit of an argument here on the reset. I'm not sure exactly what. I think it's Roosevelt who looked frustrated, so I'm not sure exactly what he thought was missing or misaligned.
One advantage lead for Roosevelt Souza. Back to the close guard for Gutenberg Pereira.
Roosevelt stands up. Looked like for a second he was going to bring his knee in the center, but pop back down. Oftentimes athletes do that. They stand up and then they feel something being telegraphed. It's hard to always see from the outside, but they feel some sort of threat and then they'll pop back down to their knees to take that threat away. Sometimes it's a muscle sweep or something of that nature. But now back up to the feet, brings his knees in the center, kind of pushes Gutenberg's hips down and away. A lot of pressure there on Gutenberg's left knee and hip from Roosevelt. Switches to the outside De La Hiva hook and then back to lasso. A lot of times you'll see athletes switching between those two. Gutenberg just is switching a couple of times back and forth there. And that right leg's really relevant there as well, the way that it popped through, because it wasn't just a lasso grip. He actually shot it underneath the hips, because sometimes people will have this lasso grip that is also a butterfly. Postures becomes a little more broken down.
Gutenberg reaching for that lapel grip. Oh, went for that arm lock on Roosevelt's left arm. It's one of Gutenberg's best moves. Those quick arm locks.
Looks like Gutenberg is potentially thinking about how to grip on Roosevelt's left ankle. Just over 6 minutes left in this match. Very, very narrow lead for Roosevelt as well. Gutenberg switches now to De La Riva. Deep De La Riva. He has that left leg was threaded behind there for just a moment.
Gutenberg has such a dangerous open guard. Seems like his opponents have trouble just standing up and trying to get their guard passes going.
Roosevelt pushes down and opens the guard again. And this time, Gutenberg had a look at a sweep there. He still has a strong underhook, but Roosevelt was able to actually reverse it and come on top, and he's looking at the back there. He's going to score him an advantage. Wow, that was a crazy exchange. It was Gutenberg's attack that led to the scramble. He came up and had a look at the back clinch for just a moment. He wasn't quite around enough to score an advantage, but he was trying, had the underhook, and then as Roosevelt stayed square and broke off, he actually reshot and was able to take Gutenberg down out of bounds and gave him an advantage as he jumped for the back.
No points yet in this ultra heavyweight final at the 2025 World Jiu-Jitsu Championships. Just 2 advantages for Roosevelt Souza. He is in the lead.
Looked like Gutenberg was reaching for that overhand belt grip there for just a moment.
Gutenberg pulls back into the close guard, trying to drag Roosevelt's arm.
Oh, he has
across
his arm pretty
body.
far across. He doesn't have a triangle locked up, but he's locked over the shoulder of Roosevelt's left arm.
Underhooking the leg with his left arm.
It's going to turn into
it's
an
a good
arm
angle
bar.
for Gutenberg.
This can be an arm bar on Roosevelt's left arm. Could also, you can lock a choke there with the other arm included if you're able to get over the shoulders, although it's a pretty big task with someone as large as Roosevelt. Wide shoulders to get up and over across, but can be done. And time is winding down here. Just over 4 minutes left to go. Gutenberg still trailing that 2 advantages. Now he opens up, has a butterfly. Might come up. That was a very similar sequence to what we saw earlier. Now in a traditional butterfly guard, he's got the belt grip. Roosevelt trying to sweep around to the, or shift his body around to the side. Man, excellent work by Roosevelt to stay balanced there, because Gutenberg almost swept him over, and Roosevelt shifted his weight over to the right and realigned and recentered himself to Gutenberg's center. For a butterfly sweep to be able to be executed well, really the first step of it is crossing someone's head over their center line. So if you can't move your head because it's being controlled, you can try to move your center line. So we saw Roosevelt move his center line, his hips, into the right position to be in line with his head. So that's kind of how he saved himself there. It's really impressive. Oh, underhook on the left side here for Gutenberg.
Three minutes left. Ultra heavyweight final, 2025 World Championships. Roosevelt still on top of Gutenberg Pereira by 2 advantages. No points thus far. I'd say the majority of the match has been fought out of the close guard.
Yeah. You know, we're starting to hear some booing as well. I think people are calling for Roosevelt's action. Fans of Gutenberg, of course. But they're also calling for a reset in general. Now, We don't see this very often. Oh, excuse me, not a reset in general, a penalty for both. What we saw earlier was when a penalty was called for both, they actually stood both athletes up. It was kind of a similar situation, actually. Luisa Montero was on top, Janaina was on bottom. They couldn't get anything going, and then both side referees stood up, and they reset the match after that third penalty. Roosevelt's back up to the feet. 2 minutes remain here. Gutenberg underhooks the leg on the left-hand side. It looks like he's trying to get some momentum going with his legs to maybe go to sweep Roosevelt over to his left.
Gutenberg trying to get underneath the hips of Roosevelt. Souza feeds the lapel grip to his left hand.
Interestingly enough, Gutenberg actually made his way to the finals because of a DQ due to passivity with Pedro Lucas earlier today. And he was losing the match at the time, right? That was a pretty big moment. So it's interesting to see some sort of similar energy happening here with people on the outside calling and complaining. I think for the top player as well, I believe Gutenberg was on bottom in a similar situation before. The thing is, though, because of the action that's being created, oh, here we go. Gutenberg had a bit of a look there at the leg, but I think his efforts are actually going to be canceled out by the weight and the pressure of Roosevelt. He had good enough positioning to be able to come back into the closed guard. There's 50 seconds left here on the clock. Roosevelt's got a 2-advantage lead. Each one has 1 penalty. Roosevelt's back up to the feet now. Now, this is interesting because each athlete was awarded a penalty, and Gutenberg is complaining to the referee or physically showing he's upset, which you have to be careful about as well with the referees, because they can give you an additional penalty if you do complain or say anything verbally to them. Obviously, Gutenberg knows that. He's not making a big show of it or anything, but you could see some frustration for sure. And it seems now that the referees have actually taken away the penalty for Gutenberg. So there was only another penalty awarded for Roosevelt.
Gutenberg trying to suck the leg in.
It was his first. This is the most motion we've seen from his guard in
Gutenberg
quite a while.
Trying to come up, stretching Roosevelt out.
Oh, wow. Gutenberg may have a look at a
Gutenberg's
sweep
up.
here.
2 points for Gutenberg Pereira.
Oh, but Roosevelt takes him down.
Puts him back down.
Crazy.
2 for Roosevelt.
Whoa! The crowd goes wild for this match. They're taking something back, but we don't know what it is yet either. They're calling something back. We don't know the final score. It looks like they've taken Gutenberg's 2 points. They've given him an advantage. Roosevelt's 2 points remain here, and he is. I need to be careful before I say it. Whenever the referee's hands on the ear, you don't really know what's going to happen. So let's wait a moment here to see the final score. What an insane end to our ultra heavyweight final.
Crazy sequence. Gutenberg originally awarded 2 points for a sweep. Roosevelt 2 points for a takedown, which would have given Roosevelt the lead.
He still would have been ahead because Gutenberg only had 1 advantage. Right now he's showing a 2nd advantage. So let's take a look at it again. So Gutenberg found his way. He created this off-balancing sequence. Used this to grab the pants. He came up onto his right shin, I believe, here after he knocked Roosevelt over. Let's see. Oh, no, he switched sides. Man, that was crazy. Comes up on top, almost in like a reverse mount. And he held him here. Roosevelt comes back up to his knees. And then Roosevelt chased him down right after the 2 was awarded and finished on top here. So because we're seeing things... Oh! Okay, so here's what happened. Gutenberg was awarded an advantage, at least for what we can see right now, for his almost sweep, right? Because Roosevelt landed on his back, then he popped back up to his knee, right, before the 3 seconds, presumably. And then they're also awarding Roosevelt an advantage instead of the 2 points, it seems. And I'm not sure if that is being counted as an almost takedown. The thing about the takedown rule is you have to be up for 3 seconds before it's a takedown. But here we have it. Roosevelt Souza.
Your 2025 male ultra heavyweight champion is Roosevelt Souza.
Roosevelt Souza is your ultra heavyweight champion 2025 by narrow margins in a crazy match. It was down to the last second.